It's Joe from Georgia. It's December 2nd, and it's election day in the 7th Congressional District in the great state of Tennessee. Now, this district is right outside of Nashville going westward. Now, this district with Afton Bain going against Matt Van Epps, the Democrat versus the Republican, is a special election that is gauging how America is feeling right now. Where does Donald Trump sit? Where does the Republican Party sit, and where are the Democrats going? But here's the funny thing about this district, and listen up. Did you know in 2020 they redistrict this seat? Nashville used to have encompass one big area where it was always going to be a Democratic seat. Well, the Republicans there said, you know what? Let's bust this up, and they put these Democrats in 3 different districts, diluting Republican support, but they still had enough people in those districts to win. However, now you're looking 6 years later, and they're thinking something different now because the suburbs of Nashville have gotten bluer also. When you get down to Franklin, Tennessee, and those areas, they have gotten bluer over the last 6 years. So today is going to be a huge test about redistricting. And as we know, after Texas did theirs in California and several other states are following, they're going to see that your consequences today of redistricting a seat just to pick up one, you might lose it in the future. So today, election day in Tennessee is going to tell us a lot about redistricting.
If you're a Democrat in the 7th District of Tennessee, get out and vote. Get out and vote for Afton Bain. She's a progressive candidate that Donald Trump and all these other Republicans are throwing millions and millions and millions of dollars trying to give her bad publicity, saying, well, she doesn't like country music and she doesn't like Christianity. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? I don't like country music. Does that make me a bad guy? Oh, I'm sure all the magazines are going to go, yeah, makes you a libtard. Because that's the way they look at things. They can't talk about anything policy-wise because there is no policy. The only policy Donald Trump has is lining his pockets with money. Everybody that's on his cabinet is doing the same thing. Everybody in the Republican Party is doing the same thing. Democrats in Tennessee, get out and vote. Get out and do it today. This is your chance to make a difference in this country. Not just your district, in this country. Matt Van Epps is just a sycophant of Donald Trump. He doesn't care about you. All he cares about is how can I make a quick buck along with Donald Trump. Get up and vote. Get out there and make your voice heard. People need a hand up, not a hand out. Make sure you help them do that.
So today is Tennessee's 7th District special election, and it is the last special election of the year where we have Afton Ben going against Mike Van Epps. Now, there are a few things that Afton Ben is going to be competing with, and that is this. In the last presidential election, Trump won that district by about 20 points. And then in the last House election, a regular election for Representative Green, who was the Republican representative at the time, won at about 22 points. Now, Afton Ben's messaging and policies have actually been more receptive by people because it is the same policies that were shaped by Adelita Grijalva and some mirroring as well as those of Zohran Mamdani, where they're tackling affordability. As of right now, Donald Trump and Mike Johnson have campaigned and endorsed Mike Van Epps, who is the Republican candidate, whereas for Afton Ben, Kamala Harris and AOC have endorsed Afton Ben for the seat. Based on policy alone, not political party, I would vote for Afton Ben. Tennessee, I hope you do the right thing, and I hope you realize that another yes man that just follows Trump's agenda is not going to help your affordability, it's not going to help your individual rights, and it's not going to help your neighbor either. That is the news. You can follow for more updates, but you don't have to.
Today is the final congressional race of the year in Tennessee's 7th District. This special election will determine the next congressional representative there, and it's between Afton Bain and her competitor. Now, Afton has been out in the streets for weeks, meeting people where they are. Bad weather, cold weather, windy weather, what have you, she's there. Meanwhile, her competitor is hiding behind the gated driveway of his McMansion, meeting with millionaire and billionaire strategists. While Afton's out knocking on doors, her competitor is having Donald Trump Jr. robocall you. Why? Because Afton cares. If you're in Tennessee's 7th District and you weren't planning on voting today, please rethink that, and please determine whether you would rather have somebody that hides behind the gated driveway of their McMansion or somebody that's willing to meet you in the streets where you are. Because I, for one, would rather have a representative that's willing to meet me where I am than hide in their mansion and not take on constituents face to face and answer the hard questions.
All right. There it is. I just voted right here in District 7 in Tennessee in this special election. Election day is today. And at the precinct where I voted, I was the oldest person there, which means a lot of young people are getting out to vote. That looks pretty good for blue. I voted for Afton Bain. Just go vote, whoever you vote for. Exercise your right. That's your civic duty. Get out there and make it happen. The weather's fine. But if you are voting blue and you're trying to make a statement and you want to make a difference and make a change and make your lives more affordable, then get out there and make it happen. Otherwise, you don't get to bitch about it. Get after it.
There's a big special election coming up in Tennessee, and it has massive implications on the national level. Let me tell you why you should care about this one race in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District. Voters in that district are headed to the polls to elect their next congressperson in the House. This comes after former Congressman Mark Green resigned over the summer. Now, the candidates. It's a high-stakes race between Republican Matt Van Epps, a West Point graduate, former Army helicopter pilot, and he was the commissioner of the Tennessee Department of General Services. He's running against Democrat Afton Bain. She's a state representative who's been described by some as the AOC of Tennessee. Here's the deal. The district, Tennessee 7th, has ruby red. It went for President Trump by about 60 percentage points back in 2024, and that's giving Van Epps, the Republican, a leg up. But Democrats say don't count out Bain. And it's because of these massive implications on the national level. Case in point, we've seen top political figures, including President Trump and Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, actually campaign for their preferred candidates. So the big question, why does this race matter so much? First off, the House breakdown. If the Democrat wins, it could further decrease the GOP's majority in the House. Right now, it's 219 to 213, but if Bain wins, that could nudge up to 214, making Speaker Mike Johnson's job a little bit harder on party line votes. And secondly, the 2026 midterm elections. That's the next cycle that's just around the corner. We're trying to read the tea leaves of if Democrats will win control of Congress, if Republicans will retain control of Congress, and we could sort of maybe read how voters are feeling based off this special election. Now, Democrats are still riding high over those election wins back in November. They also think that their message on health care can propel them to victory. But Republicans feel confident that by selling that big, beautiful bill and continuing their focus on affordability, they could retain their seats up here on Capitol Hill. So again, massive, massive, massive implications on the national level. So who do you think is going to win? The Republican Matt Van Epps or the Democrat Afton Bain? Let us know in the comments.
Do you live in the Tennessee 7th Congressional District? And if you do, have you voted for Afton Bain yet? Please go out and vote for Afton Bain today, Tuesday, December 2nd. Afton Bain really has a shot at winning this thing because special elections tend to have low voter turnout, and the people who are most angry about what's going on in the world are the ones most likely to turn out. So guess what? That's Democrats in her district. Furthermore, Donald Trump has endorsed her Republican competitor, and Donald Trump has a negative 24-point approval rating at this time. That means that this Republican congressional district could swing a full 24 points, and then Afton would go to Congress. And even if she doesn't win, the smaller the margin she loses by, the more fear it will send into the hearts of Republican members of Congress. Say, for example, she loses by 5 points. That would actually represent a 17-point swing in her district. And then every single member of Congress who is in a Republican district of, say, 15 to 20 points would be looking at that number and being like, holy shit, I'm not going to get reelected next year. Some of them might even step down early in that scenario. So if you live in Tennessee 7, if you know anyone who lives in Tennessee 7, get to the polls today and bring a friend.
Donald Trump may have just cost Republicans the Tennessee special election. Take a look at this clip.
The word affordability is a con job by the Democrats.
Out of everything that you could say out of a cabinet meeting to make people feel comfortable, you tell them that their experience is a hoax. Donald Trump may be the stupidest motherfucker I've ever seen in my life. He's doing the same thing that he did with the Epstein files. He's trying to make affordability a non-issue by saying that it's fake. Go to the grocery store and tell me that it's fake. Thousands of people come on this platform every day and talk about how much food is, how much rent is, how much mortgage payments are, how much childcare is. Donald Trump thinks that your experience is a hoax. This man that never struggled in his entire life, this man that ran away from military service because of bone spurs. Donald Trump is a pathetic coward. He leads an administration accused of war crimes. He says that affordability is a non-issue while people are suffering. Abandon Donald Trump. Impeach and convict Donald Trump.
As Donald Trump's approval ratings continue to plummet, all eyes have turned to a special congressional election in Tennessee's 7th District, which has shocked politicos by becoming a competitive race for Democrats after going for Trump by 22 points. The result of Republican gerrymandering, the district encompasses parts of Nashville and nearby rural counties and was essentially designed to always go red. But a recent poll from Emerson College had the Republican candidate Matt Van Epps leading his Democratic opponent, State Rep Afton Bain, by only 2 points.
I don't care who you voted for. I don't care what political party you belong to. But if you are upset about the cost of living and the chaos of Washington, then I'm your candidate.
Republicans who have rallied around Van Epps have pointed to Democrat Bain's support of trans rights as a reason not to vote for her. In a Truth Social post on November 30th, Trump revealed his clear anxiety over the race and what it might signal if Van Epps performs poorly. Trump begged those in the district to please get out and vote on December 2nd. He claimed Bain hates Christianity, will take away your guns, wants open borders, transgender for everybody, men in women's sports, and openly disdains country music. Bain has long been known in the state for her progressive ideals and her grassroots rise to victory in state politics. In 2023, local reporter Catherine Rickmeyer called Bain, a vehement supporter of LGBTQ+ rights, the AOC of Tennessee. In the hours before Election Day, Bain responded to Trump's tirade against her.
I know I've been living rent-free in the president's mind the past few days, and I'll just say, sir, you are the leader of the free world, and you're beefing with a 5'4" blonde who had a Hot Girls Hit Curbs bumper sticker on her car? Come on. Guys, the reason they're coming after me so hard is because they don't have a plan to address what the rising cost of healthcare, the rising cost of groceries, and that's why they're coming after me. And you know what? Such is life. We've built a cavalry. We've got all the momentum on our side. We just need folks to show up.
I'm John Hallback with LGBTQ Nation. Follow us to know about the latest headlines shaping LGBTQ+ communities worldwide.
It is Election Day in Tennessee's District 7's special election between Democrat Afton Bain and Republican Matt Van Epps. You can always tell what the internal polling is showing in the days leading up to the election by what the politicians are doing. And based on what the politicians have been doing, I can tell you that the Republicans appear to be very worried about the possibility of losing this seat in a district Trump carried by 22 points. So much so that they sent the Speaker of the House himself down to Tennessee for this relatively obscure special election. Mike Johnson headlined a rally in Franklin, Tennessee last night in which the president also called in. And overnight, Donald Trump released a barrage of 400 tweets. Political betting markets still strongly indicate that people believe that the Republican will win, but this morning, right-wing podcasters are pushing an all-out get-out-the-vote effort. Democrat Afton Bain has had support from major headliners like Al Gore and AOC as well. That's a strong indicator that Democrat internal polling does show that this seat is legitimately in play. Is she actually going to win? It's hard to say. It would definitely be an upset. It's going to depend on which party turns out to vote. But all Election Day indicators point to her victory as a strong and legitimate possibility. Spread the word and follow along for more. We'll break this down as the numbers come in and analyze the results.
It is Election Day. So how will you vote today? Now, I see many important elections taking place today, especially in Tennessee, but I've seen many people from Tennessee backing the Republican candidate, and I'm asking why. I mean, when you guys voted for the Republican candidate back in November 2024, you were lied to. You were told you would receive lower prices pretty much immediately. Are you paying less at the grocery store? Less at the gas pump? Are you paying less for homes? Any of you that are renting homes, are you paying less for rent? You paying less for electricity? I mean, guys, we're not paying less for anything. Even coffee has went up. So you guys that are promoting these Republican candidates, why? I mean, there are many Republicans this election and the elections to come that will no longer support the Republican platform because of what we are seeing from this current administration. So my question to you is this: who are you voting for today? Are you voting red in hopes that your feelings would be satisfied? Or are you going to vote blue so the people in your community will be satisfied? The choice is yours.
Okay, so day 322 of Making America Great Again, even though it is not a complete day yet and it's only 8:30 in the morning here, just a little bit to share is that question, riddle me this. Why is the Venezuelan president considered a threat and a narco-terrorist that is supposedly sending boats and boats of, drugs into the United States, which is why they feel they can blow up boats with fishermen in it, kill them all, according to Pete Hegseth. But on the other hand, an actual narco-terrorist who is locked up in jail, the ex-Honduran president, who went to jail for selling and distributing and making, and I don't even know, but 40 tons of cocaine in the United States. And Trump wants to pardon him. What you playing at, Trump? Because how can you consider one a narco-terrorist, but consider the actual person who's in jail for narco-terrorism and selling and distributing 40 tons of cocaine not the problem? And what is also even more wild is that when asked about this, he says that he's talked to the Honduran people, and the Honduran people feel like it was a setup by the Biden administration. Dude, he was found guilty in Manhattan, okay? So you are saying that our law and those lawyers and the judge and all those people are not credible? But the people of Honduras, if he even talked to people in Honduras, is more credible than the law and the justice system here. Okay. And then meanwhile, you have Maduro, who is basically mocking Trump, having kind of like an open air rally like Trump does, with music and dancing like Trump in front of his Venezuelan, the Venezuelan people. Pete Hegseth committing war crimes, blowing up boats in international waters, and basically saying, kill them all. While people are dangling on the side of a boat, they are considered and rendered not a threat. But orders were still given to shoot down these people. We're not in a war, so that's just murder. If we were in war, it'd be a war crime. Yeah, that's it.
Aren't you tired of this culture war bullshit? Aren't you done? Republicans, voters, Tennessee specifically, aren't you tired of them cramming culture war bullshit down your throat while you're poor, broke, can't afford groceries, your energy bills have skyrocketed, your insurance premiums have doubled or tripled, your best friend lost his farm, factories around you closing, hundreds of thousands of jobs lost. You're paying taxes while they're ripping away social safety nets, taking funding away from schools and special education, taking away worker protections for you. Meanwhile, they're cramming culture war bullshit down your throat so that you don't notice. These people promise to make life great for the blue-collar man. You elected a billionaire who put in his cabinet other billionaires who only need you and your children to be the little cogs that turn their machines every day, that make them money. They're taking your tax dollars and screwing over the American people, and aren't you tired? Aren't you sick of it? You know the man lied to you by now. You can't be that dumb. And if you continue to vote for people who bang the drum of MAGA, who march to their tune, who just repeat the same culture war bullshit because they think you're too dumb to understand the politics of it all, aren't you tired? You have a job today in Tennessee, your 7th congressional district. They don't think Afton can win. She can win if you turn the corner. Say, I'm done with this bullshit. I'm done with electing people who think I'm dumb. I'm done electing people who have been lying to me for the last 11 years. I'm done watching billionaires treat me like I'm scum because I'm poor. I'm done letting them lie to me. So if you live in the 7th congressional district and you're a Republican voter, you have a chance to make things better today. Starting today. You have got to be tired, sick and goddamn tired of this bullshit. Donald Trump spent the better part of yesterday and today spreading heinous lies about who Afton Bain is and what she wants to do. And I just need you to ask yourself if you're smarter than that. Are you smarter than just gulping down the MAGA lies anymore, because it's been happening for so long and they know that you're going to fall for it? I'm just begging you to prove them wrong.